What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to another video. Today we're not going to be doing any slotting. We're going to be doing some talking on Storytime Slots. So if you're not in the loop, believe it was yesterday, a content creator that goes by the name of Odaat. I guess he's a ex-gambler and on recovery, and he produces anti-gambling content, and his channel is taking off, and he gets a lot of views for his recovery and talking about the dangers and the pitfalls of gambling. And sometimes he talks about other slot or gambling influencers. He produced a video with a title or a thumbnail saying fake gambler. I believe so. I could be wrong, but it's fake gambler and a picture of the top slot channel on all of YouTube. Who doesn't know Vegas Matt? The number one slot channel, the biggest slot channel in the space, the biggest entity in this space, biggest influencer. So he produced a video not too long ago with that thumbnail, fake gambler, with this picture, and I guess he was served papers. He was served a legal, you want to call it cease and desist, and a request for a formal apology. I guess it was like a 17-page legal letter from Vegas Matt's attorney. Now, this is all coming from what I've read, according to a video that Odaat put out yesterday, talking about him in this battle with the top slot influencer. He produced a video about Vegas Matt about 3 weeks ago, and he produced another video yesterday talking about the letter that he received from Vegas Matt's camp, asking him to correct, to apologize. So we're going to be talking about that, and everything I'm going to talk about is the information, public information that I read according to that video that was put out by Odaat. I think his name is Ron or Rob, something like that. So I'm going to comment on that. I'm going to give you my take on it from both sides, both angles, and what I would have done or not done actually in that situation. If you don't know Vegas Matt, like I said, he has the biggest channel. Him and a couple of other guys, his son and a couple of other guys, WBG, W2 Jesus, and a couple of other people are involved in making videos. Regulars on the videos and things of that nature. Now, let me start off this video with my opinions on Vegas Matt. My opinion on Vegas Matt, I enjoy the content. Why? Not so much because of the gambling. It's more because of the conversations, the banter between all those guys. They are gambling. It's not fake gambling. Okay, it's real gambling. He's a gambler. So is everybody else in the crew. They're all gamblers. There's nothing fake about the gambling. It's all real gambling. And yes, in my opinion, he does post losers too. It's not cherry-picked videos. Here's the thing, guys. He has resources to chase. He has resources to bet big. He has resources to produce these type of videos. Where he gets the money, yeah, it's his money. First of all, he's wealthy, okay? He's a businessman, wealthy. He was wealthy way before even making that first video on his channel. And way before even Vegas Matt even existed as a YouTube channel. He was already playing big and gambling for fun, and he was wealthy. How he made his money in the past, whether you approve of that, this is not about that. This is about what has transpired as of late. So as far as Vegas Matt and the channel and what's going on there, I enjoy the content. And stick around the end of the video because I'm going to tell you the verdict, what I really think about this whole thing. Okay? So, yeah, it's real gambling. The guys, they have a very busy schedule. They record a video every single day. And in my opinion, it's they post pretty much what they record. They set to record a video. If they win, if they lose, whatever the case may be, it's real. They win, they post losers too. So, but I really like the banter from the guys. I really like the conversations, the characters. Vegas Matt's character. Do I believe? Did I enjoy them before all the success? Sure. I enjoyed them more when they were a smaller channel, because you would see Vegas Matt actually getting upset. You would see Vegas Matt caring a little more about the wins and losses. He still cares, but it's at another level now. Now it's a lot to do with being a business, a lot to do with the sponsorships, a lot to do with all that. It's more commercialized now, but the gist of the channel hasn't changed. The chemistry of the channel hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is more money for the spins. Because of the sponsorships, because of the brand deals, because of the merch sales, the channel has grown, the clicks, and now they can produce bigger and better content. Making bigger bets, sponsored content, you name it, right? That's fine. If the original viewer enjoyed what they really enjoyed about Vegas Matt, they are still enjoying it. Some people claim that it helps them from not gambling because they watch them gamble. Not only are they getting a gambling video out of this, not only is it stopping some people from gambling, but it's also, you're listening to sort of like a podcast while the spins are going on. They talk about daily stuff. They talk about daily activities. They talk about like just life, everyday life, and what they're doing, what their favorite movies are, music, the shows they've seen, the food, you name it. They give some slot tips. They give some just banter all around. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people enjoy the content. I'm not saying everybody likes the content, right? But a lot of people do. They have a big following. They got a big following, okay? Kind of like the Kiss Army. Kiss can do no wrong because their army is huge, the band Kiss. And Vegas Matt has that army. He has that following, biggest following of all of YouTube. He gets the most comments and so fast, the most views. It's a consistent, well-oiled machine over there. Okay. Now, obviously you're going to get some criticism. Okay, obviously the more success you have, they're going to have more people making anti-videos about you. You're going to have more people, faceless channels, other channels talking about you. That's just life. That's just the name of the game, okay? Now, if I was Vegas Matt's team, I wouldn't even responded to the video. Whether you think that video is right or wrong, whether you think it's going to help with other people's influence not to gamble their life savings away, yeah, I get that point. And a lot of people that follow Odaat, am I saying that right? They respect him because he helps a lot of people out in that respect. Whether that video 3 weeks back, 4 weeks back, whatever, was wrong, whether he said some things that are defamatory in that's for you guys to decide. I'm not going to get into that because that's just opinion. Maybe there are things that he could have said a little differently. Maybe that fake gambling bit was a little too much because it's not really fake gambling. Depending on who you ask. I mean, if you think that Vegas Matt does it, yes, he does it to gamble, and also he does it to create content. So whether you think that part is fake, I don't know. But the title just clearly says fake gambling. It's not fake gambling. I get what Odaat is trying to do. and maybe he's reaching a lot of people. And I get what Vegas Matt is doing. He's reaching a whole host of people that people really enjoy his stuff. Okay? Now, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just giving you my opinions on this whole situation. Now, if I was in Vegas Matt's team, I would say, listen, man, and this is my opinion. I would say, listen, I don't think it's worth it to pursue any type of legal action with smaller creators, because it's really not worth it. This is going to blow back harder than what the reason is for him to do so. Now, I believe that Vegas Matt is a proud dude, good dude. He reminds me of my childhood friend, childlike, attitude, grown man, but still has that fun attitude, that fun vibe. He just doesn't want negative things said about him, especially when videos that get a lot of traction, like that video had gotten. I don't know how many thousands of views that original video got, but I'm assuming it got a lot of views. So I think that was the whole idea of that. He probably got upset and said, let's send this guy a letter, and let's communicate with him, and let's see if we can get him to take the video down. To me, like I said, my opinion, I wouldn't have done nothing. I would just say, hey, you know what? He posted something, fine. I just let it go. I think it's more negative on his side to have done this. Now, the other channel went public about receiving this letter, and now he's kind of getting some negative press. But again, his channel is so big that the negative press is getting drowned out by his supporters, his followers that really enjoy what he's doing. They don't care. And yeah, there is that camp that knows exactly what he's doing. They're called influencers. Look, guys, I've talked about this in the past. Okay? I've talked about this in the past. When we talk about it for entertainment, like movies. Movies are like entertainment, News. When you watch the news, you see a lot of killings. You see a lot of shootings. You see a lot of robberies and things of that nature, Are we supposed to silence the news and ban all that too? My take is that we got to use a little bit of common sense, okay? We can't just come out and blame, because the whole argument from the anti-gambling channel was, hey, this guy's influencing people to go blow their money. This guy's influencing people to do things that will destroy their lives. Don't we have a lot of influence in life that is negative? Don't we have a lot of things that we look at? We can't shield our eyes from everything. Okay? We can't. But the way Vegas Matt produces his content, right, I think is different from somebody that just posts winners, somebody that just posts, hey, I'm a winner all the time, or pay me thousands of dollars and I'll show you how to gamble, or do this slot method and you'll win all the time. That's different. That's dangerous content. Or fake gambling content. Real fake gambling, and that's dangerous because that's different. But since Vegas Matt's whole, story is that it's conversation, it's, hey, we're going to gamble anyway and might as well record it. It's more of the conversation versus the gambling. I don't see... It's hard, man, because both sides have an argument here. Both sides, you're going to ruffle some feathers regardless. You're going to ruffle a lot of feathers regardless of what side you take. Because gambling, like I said, it's one person's time away from home. Gambling is one person's refuge. It's one person's hobby. It's one person's downfall. It's one person's addiction. It's one person's happiness. It's one person's sadness. Gambling is not one size fits all. It doesn't mean one thing for one person. You know what I'm trying to say? There are people out there that can control. There are people that are vacation gamblers that go and do it when they're in Vegas once a year. That they know the pitfalls of gambling. They know what gambling can do to somebody if they're not careful, but they still practice it because they enjoy it. Okay, I call them vacation gamblers. I call them just the occasional guy or gal that goes and just gambles when they're in Vegas or whatever, right? And then there are the hobbyists, the retirees that go in and gamble because, hey, that's what they do. That's what they enjoy, and they do it in controlled environment. Responsible budget setting, discipline, this and that. You lose, hey, we'll try them next time. And then there's the addicted gambler that's abusing gambling, and it's compulsive gambling, and it's dangerous gambling, and it's losing everything. It's hitting rock bottom gambling. And yes, I get both sides of the coin. I get both sides of the camps here. Okay, both sides have an argument. So it's kind of hard to talk about this without ruffling some feathers. You see what I'm saying? Because gambling might be a bad influence for you, and because you saw a slot channel do something, you went and did that. You went and blew your life savings because you saw somebody do it, and you were going to do the same thing. The difference between you and that slot influencer is that slot influencer is a business for them. They're getting paid. They're getting sponsorship deals. If they lose $10,000 tomorrow making a video, they'll make that back the next day on sponsorship deals, merch, clicks, whatever, if you're big enough. You, on the other hand, you do that, you're stuck. So knowing that part, I mean, it's easier said than done. I get it. You're not going to abolish all slot influencing content unless it's banned from the platform. And I don't see that happening because this makes a lot of money for the corporations. This makes a lot of money for AdSense revenue, the commercials. There's always going to be casinos. There's always going to be local casinos. Vegas. The gambling has been around since the beginning of time. Okay? Just because gambling is around and people do gambling and advertisements doesn't mean that you need to go and blow everything you got because you saw somebody. I know it sucks, guys. I've heard stories, people coming up to me, and I felt bad about it at some point. I wanted to quit gambling because of that at one point. But then I realized people are going to do this anyway. The addicted gambler is going to be addicted. They need help. They're going to do that anyway, regardless of me playing and making slot videos. Yes, there is a responsible way of making slot videos. That's why when I make slot videos, and I really believe that Vegas Matt does this too, he shows losers. I show losers. I show a lot of what I play. Most of my videos are losers. They are. That's just the name of the game. And I'm here to just hammer that message home. But it's no secret that there's a lot of money to be made in slot content. There's a lot of advertising money to be earned. Let's put it to you this way, guys. If somebody offered you a check for $5 million, $10 million, a contract, something life-changing, would you turn them down? Think about it. Everybody that talks about, they sold their soul to the devil, or they went too commercialized, or you know what I mean? If somebody's willing to do business with you and they see some potential in you that you want, they want to market you in a way, would you turn down that $10, $20 million check? The $5 million check. That's a lot of money. You're going to think twice about it, right? Of course. Guy like me, I'm not going to make content that's going opposite of what I believe in just because of the dollar. For example, I'm not going to make content that says, do this and you're going to win. This strategy, play this machine because I'm sponsored by whatever company and you're going to win. No, I'm not going to make a responsible content like that. That's not responsible content. That's dangerous content. I'm not going to do that. I might show the game because I'm sponsored by so-and-so. Hey, this could happen. It doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time, but this could happen. You could win on hot pots. You could hit that, hot bonus that I did the other day. But chances are that that's not going to happen every single day. That's responsible content. That's responsible content. Now, we can't control what everybody goes through. We can't control what people do. Everybody's in charge of their own actions, right? Everybody's in charge of their own actions. There's content out there that I strongly despise. People that do fake content. People that make content that says, hey, we're always winning here. No, I don't want, like I said, remember that analogy I brought up the other day? Husband and wife sitting in their living room in Orlando, Florida. I don't want that fake content to get to that living room and influence that husband to go gamble. But at the same time, there's responsible content that people could put out there that says, hey, you know what? We lose. Hey, check it out. This is a losing video. We made our money back, right? But we chased it. We got lucky. Doesn't mean you're going to get lucky. We have the resources to back it up. You don't. Or maybe you do. So I want you to distinguish those two facts. I want you to distinguish those two situations. It's different. People are going to go gamble. But there are things that we can do and say to warn that addictive, abusive person that might take it the wrong way and go and gamble. Especially the younger audiences that are just getting into this, that are just finding out. Look, guys, I just wanted to say one thing. You're not going to get rich off gambling. You're not going to start a career off slot machines, okay? A career just playing slot machines. There's people that have careers doing slot influencing, advertising. Sure. But you're just strictly gambling. You're not going to get rich off that shit. You're going to lose. People lose. Every single time you play a slot machine, chances are you're going to lose. It's not an investment. There's no true way of playing slots. There's no strategy that works 100% of the time. You're just getting lucky. You're pressing buttons. And you happen to, get it on video. Great. So, I just want you guys to know that. There's a difference between responsible content and content that's dangerous and bad behavior. And in my opinion, Vegas Matt's content is none of that. I mean, I think it's more of the entertainment side of things and just the character of these guys. I like the arguments back and forth. The EJ always gets, crap, and it's a story. It's like a soap opera over there. They get the wife involved sometimes. They get the girlfriends involved. Does EJ have a girlfriend? I don't know. But you're following their lives basically. So whether and how they make their money, what sponsorships they have, the cruises, this, that. Hey, are we that type of society to dictate, hey, who can make money where? Like I said, if you're not peddling fake content, if you're not peddling abusive behavior and telling people that it's okay for you to go gamble, or no. That's why a lot of these guys always say, hey, don't gamble, let us do it for you so we can get those rocks off. I don't know if that's true. For some people like me, I don't really want to watch somebody else gamble. I want to gamble because I don't have fun watching other people gamble. I want to press those buttons. So, in my opinion, Vegas Match should just let this go. It's going to sting for a little while, but then people are not going to really make a big stink over it because this channel is too big. And I get Odaat's point of view as well. I get what he was trying to do. I don't, but I would have let this one. I would have sat this one out, Vegas Match. I don't know. I think it's going to do more harm than good for you. And just going public with, hey, you sued me, and what kind of person are you, and all these comments that I was reading. And it's funny because you get like different people saying different things, like, hey man, we're just watching this for entertainment, there was slander here, there was this, there was that, you're way out of line here. So you're getting both camps commenting. But again, his channel is so huge that I don't think this is going to really do anything for his channel. It's not really going to affect him in any way. He's just too far along the game that it's really not going to affect him, even putting out this letter. It does make him look a little, like shining a different light. I was actually shocked and surprised that they even sent this letter, not coming from them. Their personalities don't match that action. And again, I don't know these guys personally. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know truly who they are inside. So I don't know these guys, so I just can't comment. I can only comment on what I see from the outside, and give you my opinions on what should have been done here and not done. See, and then lastly, I'm just going to talk about this. Look, guys. Ultimately, we can get influenced. Ultimately, we can blame. We can blame everything under the sun for our actions. We can blame the casinos. We can blame the YouTube star. We can blame the game. We can blame the person that introduced you to a casino, introduced you to a Dragon Link, introduced you. That person that introduced me to a Dragon Link years back in Vegas. I could sit there and blame them because I wasn't into that game. But when I think about doing that, when I think about, is that really the true? Is that person at fault for introducing me to a Dragon Link? No. We are in charge of our own actions. We really have to, like I said, I bring this analogy up all the time. I need to lose weight, right? I'm not going to start sitting here and blame burger joints, burrito, restaurants, or, alcohol or whatever, No. Ultimately, it's my fault. It's my decision. It's my actions that I took personally. Nobody put a gun to my head, told me to go to a casino and blow my money. Nobody forced me to go. That'd be different, right? Then there is legal blame there. But I did it on my own free will. So the casinos are always going to be there. They're not going anywhere. The advertisements are always going to be there because casinos are money-making establishments. They make the most money. They make a lot of money. That's how come they could afford the World Series commercials and the Super Bowl and all that, because they make a lot of money. On TV, primetime, all you see is casino commercials, lawyers, insurance, drug companies. You see all these commercials because they are big bucks. The industry is big bucks. So ultimately, it's our decision what we want to do, man. If gambling is affecting our lives, we should do something about it, because we want to change. We can't sit there and blame everybody else for what we did to ourselves. We were influenced, sure, but you got to be smart, man. You got to be smart. I had fun on Hot Pots the other day. I might go there and lose it the next visit. Am I going to blame the maker of that game for making it so fun and addicting? No, I decided to go and do that. And there's always options for people that are gambling way too much, compulsive gambling behavior. There are things you can do to stop it. No one's forcing you to consume any of this content. There's a difference between responsible content that shows both sides of the coin, winners and losers, and then there's content that only shows the glamour, the glitz, the glory, all the time, peddling lies, peddling, scams. No, I don't see Vegas Matt's channel as a scam per se, and like I said, I don't know them. I don't know them personally, but from the outside looking in, I don't see much of anything, there that can. It's tough. It's a tough situation. It's complicated. Let me put it to you that way. It's complicated because if I take one side, I'm going to get shit from the other side. If I take this side, I'm going to get shit from that side. So it is complicated. All I'll say is this. Ultimately, it's our fault for what we do. If a gambling is forcing you to lose every penny, then you need to put a stop to it. Only you have the power to put a stop to it. There are anti-gambling content out there. There's a lot. Even I produce some. There's a lot of people talking about, hey, I was this and now I'm this. Right? And if you want to watch content that's gambling, pro gambling, there's a lot of that too. There's more of that now than the anti stuff. So there's content for everybody. You go out, like I said, I'm not gonna blame whatever on my downfalls, on my addictions. I'm not gonna blame that person or that product. Excuse me. I'm gonna blame myself. That's a problem. That's a problem with some people. They never blame themselves. They just blame everything else around them. And I know people like that. They never take responsibility and say, hey, just the other day I found myself trying to blame the casino for my losses. But then I thought to myself, I did it. The casino didn't do it. I went to the casino. I was up. I didn't get up and leave. Why am I blaming the machine? The machine gave it to me. Just the stupid gambling kicked in. I messed it up for myself. I'm to blame for what happened, not the casino. In a perfect world, right, guys? In a perfect world, there'd be no casinos, there'd be no guns, there'd be nothing. There'd be no violence, there'd be no crime, there'll be no killings, there'll be no diseases, there'll be no anything bad. No, everybody would live a nice life. Everybody would have a house of their own, porch, garage. Everybody would live jolly, happy. But life is not like that, man. Life is full of challenges. Life is full of things. Life is full of decisions. Life is full of bad things that happen to us. Everybody would be healthy. Nobody would be sick or ill in a perfect world. But we don't live in that world. We live in an imperfect world. So it's up to us to filter all that stuff out and go with the things that really make us, that bring joy, happiness in our lives. Something that's bad for you, you got to cut it out. I'm not perfect. I got to lose weight. I got to quit smoking. I got to stop going crazy when it comes to gambling sometimes. I think I've done a pretty good job of that, somewhat. But I'm not 100%. No. I just like talking about it. I like talking about this thing we call gambling all the time because it I'm into it. I'm into it. I go for fun. I go for entertainment. One thing leads to another sometimes. Sometimes I lose a lot. So... But I try to not go overboard like I have in the past. That's the thing. That's my thing, So everybody's got their own little vices in life, So no one has this whole thing figured out in life. No one. I don't care who you are. This whole thing we call life, no. Whether you have opinions on both channels, that's your opinion, okay? And you're free to have your own opinions on any channel, not even Vegas Man, anybody else. You're free for your opinions. I'm giving you my opinion, okay? I'm giving you my opinion in this. If I was Vegas Man, I wouldn't have even said anything. I wouldn't have done anything. I wouldn't have sent anything. He's too big right now. He's just huge. Nothing's gonna happen to his channel. The only situation I would think of where gambling content, there'd be a big dent in it for the top channel is if the platform just bans it altogether. That's the only thing that could happen. And never say never, So, but that I think that would kind of suck. It would, It'd be like, hey, gambling content is not allowed, but recording somebody fight, kill people and shootings and all that stuff is allowed. How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? How does that even compute? It doesn't, right? So, hey guys, I thought I'd chime in here. And there's things that I forget to say sometimes when I'm doing these long form videos that I want to do from beginning to end. But let me just insert this in here real quick. There's people that actually enjoy some of these slot channels, right? And if we go after them one by one, right, that means somebody's going to lose here. Either the person that really enjoys the channel, that watches it for entertainment responsibly, loses out because they're not going to get that entertainment anymore. They do it responsibly, and they really enjoy it. It's their thing. It's their daily soap opera, and they're losing out because some people were irresponsible and letting this content influence them to go gamble. So those people are going to lose out. The other side loses out because they get influenced and they try to copy what these people are doing, not knowing that they're sponsored, not knowing that, hey, they can afford to do all these spins and you can't. Those gambling addicts lose out. So both sides lose out here. It's kind of a weird situation. It's kind of a bad, sucky situation if you ask me. But that's gambling, right? That's gambling, man. You're not going to get everybody agreeing. There's not one size fits all here. So I thought I'd just put that in there real quick. And I'll say this again: if people are producing content that's harmful in a fake way and misrepresenting what they're actually doing, that's harmful content. That's bad content. I'm against that. I'm totally against that. In that aspect, sure. But let me know what you think, man. This is a great conversation. This is a great topic to talk about. Who's in the right here? Who's in the wrong here? Do you like the Vegas Matt channel? Let me know. Do you know about this situation? Have you heard about this situation? Let me know. I'm sure you guys have your opinions in this, and I'd like to hear them. All I'm doing is sharing mine here and hoping we could start a discussion in the comment section. I was actually shocked. I was surprised that they would even send something like this to a small channel. So I was shocked. I don't know whose decision it was. But if I was that huge, I'd just ignore him. And I'd just say, you know what? You know what? No. It would make me make more responsible content. It would make me say, you know what? Okay, Odaat is making this video, and I'm making these videos. How can I implement his ideas? How can I be more responsible in my videos and making them a more responsible, enjoyable situation for everybody? Like I said, you can't please everybody. You're always going to have somebody that disagrees with you. You're always going to have somebody that hates you. That's just that nature of the beast. But how can I, as a content creator, as a leader of this channel, how can I make this channel, how can I say this, like, not appease everybody, but like, how can I address that situation that somebody is calling me out for? How can I make it where, okay, that's not true and I have a strong opinion on that. That's not true what he's saying. I'm going to address that directly. But how can I do it where I show the audience that that's not true? That's what I think is lacking. One opinion I can give Vegas Matt channel: have these talks about his channel more often. Show us the back end more often. Show us the conversations they have between WBG, Vegas Matt, and not in a FanDuel kind of way, not where FanDuel produces their home, or not those type of videos, not produced, glamorized, commercialized videos. I'm talking about something like this. Dude Luck does it all the time. He does a video like this talking about the business. It's just him and he addresses haters. Marin, he addresses what he makes, things of that nature. I wish that Vegas Matt channel would actually do more of that. Just, hey guys, I didn't like what I read here. I'm gonna address this. Kind of like what I do from time to time too. A talking video. If he wants to open up another channel, Vegas Matt Talks, that's great too. It'd be a success. It would be, because we don't really get to see the real personal side of these people. We don't really get to see the true, just the trueness, the realness. I want to say the realness, the real every day-to-day side of things. It's more, hey, now it's time to record. Let's record. But we want to see that back end. We want to see that unproduced, uncut content. We want to see that cussing Vegas Matt, or like that. Hey WBG, you shouldn't have done this. Why did you say this to why did you address it like this way? Those kind of things. We want to see that kind of shit. The real like off camera-ness of this channel is lacking, and I want to see that. That's a good idea. Vegas Matt talks. Vegas Matt, I want some royalties on that. If you ever do decide to start a channel that just shows a different light and a more realness. I'm not saying you're not real. I'm saying a more raw side of what's going on. That's the word I was trying to find. Raw. More raw. Vegas raw. Matt raw. Vegas Matt raw. So we want to see that. We'll see the arguments. Without the FanDuel cameras all over the place. We want to see the real arguments. We want to see them throwing plates at each other. Keeping up with the Moros. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, guys. Not to make this video too long. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Which side are you on? Who was on the wrong here? Was Odaat way off base? Was he on point? Was Vegas Matt off base? Were they off point? Would you send that legal letter to a smaller channel? Let me know what you think. Let me know if this changes your viewpoints on certain channels. And like I said, this is a discussion. This is just me going back and forth with you guys. Let's start a conversation. I want your opinions. Let me know. Thank you very much. Storytime slots talks. And there'll be more slots in the future. Alright? We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy this content. And rock and roll!